Hello, everyone. Welcome to quarter 3 and 4. I'll be teaching 3 new classes. One is community, the second is math skills, and the third is leisure skills. So, most, if not all of you, are in those 3 classes. So, community is the one where we'll be live from 10 to 11 is period 2. And then math skills will also be incorporated in that class, as well as some work experience topics. So we're covering those 3. So if you have work experience as your elective, it'll kind of be incorporated. Mr. Mike introduced himself during class this morning. If you weren't in class, check out the recording of that video following this video. So those 2 classes, community, math, and work experience, we're using a new curriculum. It's really exciting. Dr. Irwin helped us purchase this. So this is called My Steps into the Community. And if we were actually in person, we would be out going to these outings. We usually have a Thursday outing day and we'll go out in the community. But right now we're just practicing those skills so that hopefully next year we'll be able to go do these things. So I'll be doing them virtually. So I'll be kind of sharing different presentations with you in the form of Google Slides. And those I'll be able to send to you and you can make them a copy and then write in them and answer the questions. You guys can use your workbook as well, but the Google Slides are a way for me to then see what you guys have accomplished and then send it back to me. So, and also a way to do the lesson outside of my class as well. So you'll see what I mean in a moment. But today we are starting our workbook. This week we are, so in your workbook 1, so you have 2 workbooks, workbook 1 and workbook 2. We are starting with workbook 1. And if you turn to a few pages in, it has kind of what's happening. So the table of contents tells you that we're going to focus on getting ready to step out into the community. We're focusing on the ID card portion this week, and then we'll be doing these math things throughout the semester. So we'll be kind of skipping those and going into unit 1 next week. So let me share with you what that's going to look like. You'll only need page 1 of your workbook today. So that's this. And I'll show it to you on screen here in a second. Hang on. Okay, so I'm going to be here at the bottom of your screen describing what's going on. So getting ready for the community is our first preparatory unit. So let me show you what that looks like. So what you're going to need for this is just your workbook 1. Trying to move myself out of the way for you here. Okay, so workbook 1, and then you're going to go to page 1. And that is where we're going to talk about important information. So anytime we go in the community, we have this sort of information about students so that if something were to ever happen, that we would have all of this information in one place. So what this would actually look like is that this would be a actual card. And so it's a little card that looks exactly like the picture here on the screen. And then the reverse side has an in case of emergency, which we'll go over in a minute. But the ID card is what I want you guys to focus on today. So important information. You're going to be filling all of this out. So name of student, your address, home phone is kind of like your go-to phone number, same with cell phone. I would really love these to be the same number, especially for simplicity for students to learn the number they should be calling if they need anything. Their birth date, and then medications, medical devices, allergies, that kind of thing. If you're comfortable sharing your insurance and your insurance policy number, if we ever needed to call 911 or things of that sort, this really helps so we know what hospital or doctor and phone number if something happens. So Let's start here. So what I've done is I've created this slideshow presentation that when I send it to you, it will be available for you to edit. So you can add in your own stuff in here. And then once you're done, you can share this whole document with me again. So here's your, so what we're focusing on is not only filling out this ID card with your student, but also focusing on the numbers related to it for math skills. So we have a home number, right? So that's either an apartment, a house, address. Okay. So that goes in here, then your street name, your city, your state, and then your other number, which is your zip code. So we're focusing on the numbers. Great way to practice this is to have your student, you can either have them write this out. You can have them use their communication device. You can record your student's address on their button and they can practice pushing it and to tell somebody what their address is. You can count it out in money if you want. There's a lot of different ways, or even use. So I sent home some calculators. The beauty of a calculator is that a lot of the keyboards and things that students may be using, those numbers are in that setup usually. And so that's a great way, like a pin pad or something like that, that they can practice using their numbers. So they could even type in their home address into the calculator just for practice. But if they have a communication device, that's a great place to go. There's probably a way to even edit it to add your address in there. So multiple ways to practice that. All right, then you have your phone numbers is next on the ID card. So like I said, I would like this to be one number, but if you do really have it still a home phone and then a cell phone of a mom, dad, guardian, whoever is going to be the go-to person to call, those would go here. Another number is your birth date. So we're going to do this in numbers. So like my birthday would be 07/24 of 1988. And so you'll have those numbers in there. I would like them in the 2-digit format. And then the last one is all 4 digits for the year. Awesome. Next is your medications, any medical devices, or any allergies. So when we're out in the community, we need to know these things. We need to know what we need to have on hand, what medications need to come with us, what medical devices we need to keep track of, charge, that sort of thing. Any food allergies, if we were to go somewhere for food or even in nature, that sort of thing. So any allergies, EpiPens, that sort of thing. And then any other information that you need us to know would go on this slide. Here's your insurance company and then the policy number. So another way to practice numbers is your policy number. So mostly students don't need to know this off the top of their head, but again, to orient themselves with their device, their calculator, things like that is a great way to practice your numbers. Doctor's phone number and name. So yeah, if we were to go in the community and there was a medical emergency or something like that, and we needed to call, we would do so if necessary. Okay, so here's the back of that ID card. So remember I said here's the front of the ID card and then here's the back, and that's the in case of emergency. So we're going to list 2 people as alternate contacts. So, if mom is the primary person that we're contacting, dad could be the other one, and then, a sibling, a caregiver, someone as the second point of contact. And then the school address I already provided for you, you'll see. So here's the emergency contact. We'll need the name, the relationship to the person, the work phone, and cell phone. Best ways to reach them. Same with emergency contact 2. So 2 of those. And then here is our school information. So I have provided that already for you here, but a great way to practice our school phone number if you need that and want that. And then here's our street address as well. So if we were in the community and a student, someone was tracking them down and needed to know where school was or where they came from. That is our school information. Awesome. Okay, so that is our first lesson of community. And so that's what you'll be working on today. And numbers. Okay, so those are your math skills, is work on the numbers that are important for your personal information. So that's a thing we'll practice all week. There's more workbook pages involved, so I will assign those throughout the week, but I just wanted to focus on getting that completed. So in your workbook, really ideally, we would end up copying this and then having students fill it out, and then we would laminate it and keep it with the student. So if you're able to make a copy of this at home and fill it out, and then we could laminate it for you, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Do it electronically on your Google Slide and send that off to me as well. I need the information anyway, if we were to go in the community. So it's important to have this. Most of these students, I have your information, but the most up to date is very important. So there's that. And then, okay. And then for leisure skills, what you received in your student supply pack was a laminated leisure skills choice board. Unfortunately, I could not print it in color, so I apologize for that, but it is there. So these are some ideas for things that students have done either in the classroom or I've heard about at home that people are doing for leisure skills. So yeah, it's all the fun stuff. It's the choices that our students make. In the classroom, we would earn this time at the end of the day, right? These kids have been working all day towards different things. They've been paying attention and all that good stuff. And so at the end of the day, we want to be able to unwind a little bit and find a way to have a pleasurable activity to kind of wind down with. So, that could be exercising, reading, dancing, walking the dog, relaxing, using a sensory toy. Some students use those throughout the day. So this is an opportunity, cooking, games, going on YouTube. So what I hope for this class is that this is something that can happen either throughout the day. This is something that when there is downtime that a student can reach for something like this and make a choice. So what I'll do this week is reach out to you and email you and say, hey, what is the leisure skill that you'd like to work on with your student? And so use this visual to help them make a choice. What do they want to work on? Do they like to listen to books? Are they going to go onto the MyLibby app and listen to a new book series? Are they going to play online games? Are they going to go on YouTube and watch some of their favorite songs? So I want to find a way to enhance that activity. So whichever one you choose, please let me know so we can work on that for a few weeks and we can kind of amp it up. So if your student's going on YouTube, great. Let's create a personalized YouTube playlist that the student can learn to go and navigate to themselves when presented with the tablet when it's an appropriate time. Yeah, or I can build up your students' News to You library with specific books that you'd want. So there's lots of different ways that we can do that. So please let me know this week what you want to focus on first with your student, or you think would be the most, a good place to start, really, with your student. So let me know that. So yeah, I mean, there's kind of your overview of community, math skills, and leisure skills. So we'll be doing some work in class. We'll be needing each day, this is last tidbit. So I did talk about this in class this morning, but what's really important is to make sure that for class, you have your play money. Basically it's real looking money, but it's smaller. I have the bigger magnetic version that we're going to use in class and count together with, but if you have your money there and ready, that would be great. So we count out money based on the day or date, I mean. So like today was the 8th, so we counted to 8. So we had to count our ones to get to a 5 and then add 3 more ones. So we'll be doing that during our today's weather, which goes over the calendar, and our weather to dress somebody for the weather. So we'll be working on that. So you'll need your money. And then you'll also need either your communication boards, like so. Okay. You guys have these in sleeves, or use your communication device or your button. Okay, so we really want to get to the point that students are answering us in any way that they can. So that could be using your button to say yes, no. That could be, I might ask you to record the date on your button, and then that student would be the one to tell us what day it is that day. Another opportunity would be using their communication device and learning to navigate through a whole daily routine, right? Of, you know, what day of the week it is, what month it is, the date, the year. All of that is within a communication device. So there's lots of ways to do that. And so we want to help our students navigate that more independently. So that's what we'll be focusing on. So make sure that you bring those two things. You need your money set and you need your form of communication that you would like to use during morning meeting. We'll be focusing a lot first on yes, no. So if you have a button, that's a great way to start. And then if you want to be someone who records the date for me, let me know. That would be great. So I look forward to an awesome quarter 3 and quarter 4. And I'm really excited about this new curriculum. All right. Thanks and have a great afternoon. Bye, guys.